Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. I'm going to lay out 3 runes. Each of these runes is going to represent a problem, question, or concern that you may have. I'm going to explain what each rune's question is about, and then you can decide which reading you would like to hear. I will post the timestamps in the description at the bottom. Here we go. I'm going to be using, this is one of the Blum sets. It's grey clay with red runes on them. It's basically a very good all-purpose set. We can do pretty much any kind of reading with it. Okay, so there's our 3 questions today. Hello, welcome back. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, the first rune is the rune of Raidos, rune of riding. It could be about a journey that you're on, a personal journey, or it could be about a business endeavor, or maybe even a relationship. It's any sort of journey that you're going on in your life. So if your question is about that, then you want to go to timestamp number 1 and check out the answer to that. If your problem, question, or concern is about question number 2, this is the rune called Kaunaz. It's the rune of fire. It's a torch. It generally has to do with anything that starts small and basically starts as an ember and then grows up into a lot more. It's basically about expansion. Some people see it as creative expansion, but it can be about anything that starts small and gets huge. If that's your problem, question, or concern, you're going to want to go to timestamp number 2 for your answer. The third question here I see is represented by Isa. Isa is the rune of ice. This is basically a question about anything where things are feeling stuck, things are feeling frozen, things feel like they're not moving forward. So if your question has to do with that sort of situation in your life, then please go right ahead to timestamp number 3, and I will see you there. Hello, welcome people who are here for question number 1, the question about your life's journey or any sort of endeavor that you're taking which feels like a new journey for yourself. I'm going to lay down 4 more runes. This is going to tell us what led up to this issue, what's going to help you with this issue, what isn't going to help you with this issue. However, what is going to help you is always going to be the antidote to what isn't going to help you. And finally, your next step on this path. Ooh, interesting. We might need a couple more runes for that afterwards. Right. Well, as I mentioned in the opening, your central issue is an issue about your journey. It's Raidos, the riding rune, which basically means that your journey here is not like you're getting on a train and there's a set path. You are actually directing every step of this journey, as though you were riding a horse, although horses are free spirits. Anyway, well, they're not really, but anyway, leading up to this, it looks like something actually... It's like something started as a very small ember in your life. Yes, you recognize Kaunaz from the 3 questions. Here it is again. Something small in your life that sort of just started to expand and expand and expand, and now you find yourself on this journey. What's going to help, actually, is represented here by Ansuz. Ansuz is the rune of communication, manifestation, the mouth, some would say the god. It's basically about... communication with others and also your throat chakra stuff. So what's actually going to help here on this journey is keep the communication open. Have conversations with friends and family. Basically, keep that open. It is upright, so it's not so much inner communication as it is just keep those lines open. What isn't going to help is represented here by Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth. It's the rune of worth. Wealth, of course, for the ancient Norse was cattle. So it's not just money wealth, but it's the wealth. It's the wealth you tend. It's wealth that you have to take care of. But this could actually be about money. So what this could be saying is, well, you're on this journey. Maybe money is an issue. At the same time, maybe feelings of worth are an issue. Maybe you're doubting that what your journey is about isn't worthy. Try not to let that hold you down. If you feel like that, just bring yourself back to what is helping you, which is the communication, having the lines of communication open. Now, your next step here, this is kind of interesting. This is Pertho. It's the lot box, basically, and it's the rune of surprises, fate, and also basically you're surprised by it, but it's something that was already there. In this case, it's reversed, which indicates possibly an pleasant, unexpected surprise that was already there. This is why I actually want to lay down a few more runes about this, because it looks like on this journey you're discovering something that you maybe didn't want to. So let's see where we go with this. Okay. So what's actually going to help you when you hit that point where you're getting this surprise that maybe isn't the most pleasant surprise is Berkana reversed. Berkana is sort of the divine feminine rune. It has to do with birth. It's the birch tree. In this case, it's reversed. So there's basically a couple things that I could say for this. Tap into your feminine energy, whether or not you're female. This is something where you're going to be going deep within. This is your inner energy. At the same time, if you are female, maybe you want to delve a little deeper to see, like, maybe even you want to, this is something I don't like to actually suggest for anybody, but it might be, maybe there's somebody in your family who is sort of poo-pooing what you're doing, and you might want to actually turn that criticism off, and that might actually help you. What doesn't help you, though, which is why I hesitate to say that, is this is Manas. It's the rune of humanity and your place in humanity. It's reversed, and it's in the negative line. What's not going to help you is turning away from everybody. Don't just turn away from everybody because one person is saying something that you don't need, or some person has basically disappointed you. In this case, bring yourself back, tap into your deep inherent nature. What's actually helping you is that this is all new. Just remind yourself that this is all new. This is a blank rune. It's an invention of Blum, but I find it very useful because it does call into things about the unknown, the uncarved block, and so forth. What won't help is that the din of humanity and the desire to turn away from them at this point is going to be very strong. This is Uruz, it's the rune of the wild ox. It has to do with strength and often stubbornness. So you may be very much inclined, once you hit that surprise that you don't like, to turn away from everybody. Please don't do that. Look within yourself, find your inherent nature, trust that this is all new ground and that you're going to be experiencing things that maybe you don't like quite yet, and carry on. Because your next step here is the yew tree rune. This has to do with patience, slow growth, but basically, as long as you're on this path, you're going to be moving towards the goal, and you are very likely going to get there. Just stay the course, have faith, and I know you're going to do it. So that's your answer for question number 1. Take care. Hello, and welcome to question number 2. This is the question about something that maybe started small and is sort of gotten out of hand and now you're a little bit worried about it, or maybe it's something that you've been working on and it's actually increasing to a point where, okay, now let's ask about it. So let's lay down a few runes, see what the surrounding influences are, and get a good snapshot of what we're dealing with. I'm going to lay down a rune that's going to tell us how we got here. I'm going to lay down a rune that's going to tell us what is going to help you in this point. And I'm going to lay down a rune of what is not going to help you, keeping in mind that what is going to help you is always the antidote to what won't help you. And I'm going to lay down the next step on the path. Interesting. Okay. So it looks like what led up to this is a bit of a realization of, basically this is Berkana. This is the rune of the birch tree. It has to do with birth, a lot of deeply divine feminine energy, things that have to do with feminine, but also with family. So you may have actually come into a realization about your identity that has led you to this point where things are expanding and you're wondering about it. Could also be somebody in your family that has started this spark. What's going to help you is represented here by Ivaz. Ivaz is the rune of the yew tree. It has to do with patience and slow growth. So really the most important thing at this point is patience. With this, it's a fire, so it might be we're just waiting for this fire to burn out, and we can see from the next step that that's actually a possibility. What won't help here is we have Vunyo. Vunyo is the rune of joy, and it is reversed, and it's reversed in the negative line. So what I'm seeing is the whole situation seems to be making you very unhappy. I mean, maybe this is a family blow up. Maybe this is something that's just got out of hand. And what the runes are basically saying is, I know you're unhappy and this could drag you down, but really just be patient. This is going to burn itself out. And what we see here is Raido. Raido is the rune of riding. It's the rune of journeys, and it is reversed, and it's on the path line. So this basically says that either this is a journey that's going to come to an end, or it's basically going to go inward, which we kind of hope won't go inward because it sounds like it's a bit of a conflagration. I'm actually going to draw a few more runes just to set things, to get a better snapshot. I'm actually going to pull this out a little bit as well so we can see a step between. Yikes. I'm so sorry, you guys. It looks like you're going through some rough times. Right. Okay, so getting back to the Kaunaz step where things are just like blown up. What's going to help you when you're being very, very patient is tend your needs. This is Nauthiz. It's the rune of need. Sort of an image of a need fire where you rub two sticks together to make fire. Basically, be patient with what's going on and focus your attention on your needs. And that's going to help carry you over. The reason that the unhappiness rune is happening here is there's a real lack of communication. Maybe there's even lies going on. This is Ansuz. It's the rune of communication, and it is reversed in the very, very negative line. So this doesn't look very pleasant at all. So I hope just hang in there and be patient and tend your own needs, and hopefully this will carry you forward. Now, the reason I'm saying this looks like it's a really rough time is that between now and the journey ending, while you're being patient and riding it out, we have Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the hailstorm rune. It has to do with chaos, uncontrolled uncontrollables. It can be just crazy. What's going to help you at this step? We have Isa. Isa is the rune of ice. It's the rune of standstill and clarity. If you are tending your needs, putting all your focus into that, and just being patient, you will get this stillness, which will be like the eye of the storm. That's going to help carry you over. What's not going to help here, we have Algiz. Algiz is the rune of support and protection. It's basically what they call an elk in Norway, but it's actually, we know it as a moose in North America. So that's the antlers, but it is reversed here. And what you're going to be worried about and what's really going to be bothering you is that you're going to feel unsupported. You're going to feel really alone in this. But if that starts to drag you down, please pull yourself back up. Take a deep breath, be patient, tend your needs, and you're going to find this stillness coming in and really helping things along. And this actually leads us to the final rune in the set, which is Raido, which is Raido reversed, which indicates an end of this journey. So it's going to feel awful. It's going to be really rough, but just, be patient, tend your needs, and it will end. So there you go. That's your reading. Hope this helps. Take care. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Question number 3. These are the people who are here. You are the people who are here to get this answer about this question about stillness. This is Isa, the rune of ice. Your question has to do with things not moving forward, things feeling frozen, things standing still. Let's pull a few more runes and see what we have for the whole situation. See what we can do to help you out in that situation. So I'm going to draw a rune that's going to show what led up to this. I'm going to draw a rune that's going to show what's going to help in this situation. I'm going to draw a rune that's showing what isn't helping in this situation. And I'm drawing a rune that's going to show the next step. Okay, well, it looks like this has been developing for a while. We have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. This is a rune about slow growth and slow development, patience. It looks like something, maybe you were working on something or something that was going on in your life that was a slow growth kind of situation, very slow development. You've been very patient with it. It's been going on and on and on. But now it seems to have frozen. And that's really upsetting you because you thought it was at least moving forward and now it doesn't seem to be. So what's going to help you here? And before I answer that, I'm actually going to draw another couple of runes just to clarify this. Ooh. That's interesting. Okay. So what's going to help you here is actually represented here by Berkana. Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. It's the rune about birth. It's about feminine energies. It's actually reversed. So you're going to want to basically really turn inward and access these. It might also be, I said this in a previous reading, it might also be turning away from if there's a family member who's basically trying to overbear on this. Just basically not to worry about that. And the reason I'm saying this is that what's really helping is, in this case, Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the hailstorm rune. It has to do with chaos, natural forces, natural energies, uncontrolled uncontrollables. It's nature, and it's in the very, very upper helping realm of the reading. So basically, you want to turn into your deepest yin energies, where you're just going to be allowing something to grow. Everything has a winter. This is a winter rune. So maybe it was growing and growing and growing. Now maybe it's entered into a winter season where it seems to be standing still. Trust nature. Trust that the nature will carry things through. Nothing is permanent. And just basically allow this. Be yin. Be yin and allow this. Now, what's not going to help you is we have Uruz, who is the rune of the aurochs, the wild ox, has to do with strength, health, vitality. But in the lower parts of the reading, where it's things that aren't going to help, we are seeing it to be something like stubbornness. And when you look at the rune that isn't going to help what isn't going to help, which is Tivaz, which is basically the Tyr's rune. Tyr was the warrior god. And he had to do with duty, responsibility, but also picking up the sword and driving forward. This is what you want to be doing. And you're very stubborn about it. You really, really want to be moving forward, and this is really bugging you. Now is not the time. It's winter. It's frozen. Things are ice at the moment. So just, if you feel yourself being dragged down by just champing at the bit and wanting to move forward, plow that land, do what you want to do, now is not the time. So just allow yourself to become yin, relax into the chaos, basically, relax into the natural forces, and this will carry you forward. And the nice thing about this is that your next step here is represented by Algiz. Algiz is the rune of protection and support, and it really looks like this is leading to a good place. So let this carry you forward. You're not going to be frozen forever. Things are going to sprout and bloom, although that's an antler. Certainly antlers sprout and bloom as well, but you are going to get the protection and support that you are hoping for, and that is not far off from coming. So there's your answer. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.